In Oregon, all counties historically started out with a county court, a county judge and 2 county commissioners. That was a governing body for each county. In 1995, there was a vacancy on the county court, and I applied for it, was appointed, served for a year and a half as a county commissioner, and 2 years later ran for county judge and became a county judge January 1, 1999. The reason for the recall is stated that I prevented access for the public to right to assemble and to freedom of speech. That's simply not true.
Judge Grasty denied local citizens the right to use county buildings, yet he used those buildings himself for his own political purposes.
We, the county, had held 2 public meetings. At the second one, Mr. Bundy came in. The militia surrounded the upper part of the grandstands, looked up there and saw 2 guys on either side of him with firearms. You couldn't continue to have those kind of meetings without fear of escalation. We got word that Mr. Bundy was interested in using the memorial building. I made a decision to protect the public safety. I let the word out pretty solidly, Mr. Bundy, you're not welcome in our building. We're worried about public safety.
Judge Grasty is now arbitrarily blocking the people from meeting together to talk about this. He has taken the position as a dictator. It is acts like this that expose the true problem. Government officials are not the masters. The people are the masters.
The Bundys may have wanted to have a forum, but it was local citizens that wanted to have a forum. Those same local citizens were willing to get together and promote activism by Harney County residents. They had a meeting at the senior center, and they never pushed any plan whatsoever. What they did push was for Harney County citizens to join them and make a plan for Harney County. Judge Steve Grasty saw the success of that meeting, and at that point, he decided that he needed to have his own weekly meeting for the purpose of what he said was to keep the citizens informed. I believe those meetings were not set up to inform the public, but to push his own agenda.
That decision that was made by the court, by me, and voiced by me, had nothing to do with any other building in town. They could have met at other buildings. I don't know whether folks would have let them do that or not, but they could have.
My name is Chris Briles. I've lived here in Harney County since 1978.
Chris Briles was a county fire chief. He came in and said, you got to let Bundy meet there. And I said, no, he's not allowed to use that building.
Steve starts out by telling me, he says, your perception is so wrong. You have no business messing with this. Your life is in danger. And I told him, I said, you know, there's nobody threatening anybody out there. You're creating the fear here. That's wrong. They're not bad people. They came here to help. But he says, your perception is all out of whack. Quit messing with stuff. Go home and bounce your grandkids on your knees and let us take care of this. And you're not gonna get the fairgrounds for this weekend. And I said, so you're gonna take my First Amendment right away from me? He says, no, I'm not saying you can't assemble. I'm not saying that you can't have free speech, just not in any county buildings. He said, go out and have it in one of them frozen fields somewhere. And he kind of chuckled. He thought that was pretty smart, you know. So I said, have you got a piece of paper? He said, sure.
Chris got angry and signed a piece of paper saying I resign, and immediately went out to the fairgrounds and stood in front of the media, said what a jerk I was, made some accusations, said I had cut off the right to free speech.
I told him what had happened, and that I had just resigned as a Harney County Fire Chief, and that I would not work for a dishonest man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I will not work for somebody that I don't trust.
People have to put in perspective how quickly this escalated and to put themselves in his shoes. Okay, now you got an armed occupation happening in your area, you got nationwide spotlight, and you have to make quick decisions as to how you're gonna lead. Now, who do you think is talking in that guy's ear? You can imagine it's gonna be the police. It's gonna be the FBI. What the hell would you do if that happened to you?
Tonight, 8:30, 9 o'clock, we're gonna know whether I'm recalled from my office. I'll be disappointed if I am, but it'll be a horrible message for this community. maybe these guys were right and all the rest of us are wrong. Maybe that's what the community thinks, is Bundy's right. Pretty good.
Congratulations.
What's the percentage?
70%, 29.
Almost 71 to 29.
Yeah.
That's a solid message.
Solid message. Solid message.
I don't need these anymore.
He beat it. Why is that? What's the print? Probably 70% of the people are government employees. The 30% that voted to recall him are the people that own the land. 30% of the ranchers.
The results of the recall, since he's not being removed from office, was not a failure. It has put other politicians on notice that people are paying attention, and there is something that we can do.
You guys, what we all got to do, and I will attempt to call Kim tomorrow and Chris Browse both and say, it's time, you guys. How do we move ahead? You think there's something I can do different in the next 6 months? Come and tell me what it is. And let's figure out how we pull this thing back together. And I beg all of you to do the same thing.
He's a man that has to live with what he does, but he is a man who will be judged. Maybe not by this recall, but he will be judged.
To learn more of the story, go online now and don't miss American Standoff, now playing.